Welcome back to the YouTube channel of Pro Enzo Vid, and this weekend is my round 8 NRL tips for 2025. So this weekend, obviously Anzac round, so a very special round as it always is. Really dedicating to those who served the country before us and really, left their mark in history for both Australia and New Zealand. So, it's a really big round of remembrance for those people. But yeah, special round. Always love Anzac round. I think most clubs have a jersey named, but some clubs don't yet, unless it's getting released later in the week, their own designed Anzac jerseys. But yeah, talking about the round, it is actually some big games ahead, like, of course, the annual Anzac Day clash, Roosters and the Dragons at Allianz Stadium. That should be a cracker. Some very tough games to pick as well. Like, I feel like games like Broncos, Bulldogs, two of the most informed clubs so far in the competition. That will be another big game on Thursday night. You've also got Dolphins and Raiders, which I think is a very 50-50 game. And there's some games that can go either way this weekend, so I'm looking forward to it. But as always, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. That goal of 5,250 got cracked the other week, so appreciate the support heaps. And make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. But here we go, my round 8 tips. Let's go. So Thursday night, the big one, Broncos and the Bulldogs at Suncorp Stadium to kickstart Anzac round. Look, both sides are sitting pretty well on the ladder so far, but I don't know about the Broncos and the way they're going. Warriors basically bashed them for the middle, and the Broncos are nothing, really for most of that game. Disappointing considering who they had playing, but and Warriors had out, so that's a bit embarrassing. But I'm sure back at Suncorp, they'll be ready to, bounce back and make amends for their home fans. As for the Bulldogs, they keep winning. They're just playing great footy at the moment. Confidence is through the roof. And it's their first time actually leaving Sydney so far this season. So we'll see what they're like away from Sydney, if that changes anything. But yeah, the way they're playing, it's hard to see that affect them too much. But looking at both sides, for the Broncos, Reece Walsh is out, so that means Selwyn Cobbo goes to fullback and Dean Mariner comes on the wing. Brendan Piakura returns to the bench after serving a 2-game ban for a high tackle. As for the Bulldogs, one change only. Harry Hayes joins the bench in place of Jack Todd, who faces a lengthy stint on the sideline with a fractured arm. And that's the team right there for both sides. My tip for this game, I'm going to go with the Bulldogs to win. I think Dogs are just playing too good at the moment. I just can't see how they, Broncos are a chance to win, obviously, but the way Bulldogs are playing, I just can't back against them. So I'll tip Bulldogs to win by about 6 points maybe. First try scorer, I'll go with Jacob Preston, and anytime try scorers of both sides, I'll go with Jesse Arthurs, and I'll go with Jacob Carraz, but Dogs to win. Another annual Anzac Day game between both the Roosters and the Dragons at Allianz Stadium. So, Roosters were very average last week against Penrith. They started well for Daniel Tupou's first try, but other than that, nothing was really working for the Roosters, and it's been the same case for them nearly every single game so far this year, apart from their 2 wins. As for the Dragons, they beat my boys Manly at rookie, so that was not fun. But the Dragons are a team that, can definitely beat anyone on their day, I reckon, if they have the right mindset. But their issue is consistency, like a few clubs. So we'll see how they go for this one. Looking at both sides, for the Roosters, Billy Smith's back from suspensions. That means Mark Nawaqanitawaze goes to the wing. Dom Young is dropped, so that's a big call there by Robbo, but I can see why. Spencer Linu starts at prop in the absence of Nat Butcher with a knee injury. Angus Crichton returns from a groin problem, pushes Celeste Fiketti to the bench, and Egan Butcher comes in on the bench, and Taylor Lasalu drops out. And there we go. As for the Dragons, Sione Finau has been called to the wing to replace Matt Feagai, who's out with a fibular fracture and a high-grade syndesmosis injury. Ouch. As for the Dragons, Emre Gula returns from suspension on the bench to fill a hole with Hamish Stewart out with concussion. My tip for this game, I know Roosters are favourites because it's at home, but I don't know. I think Dragons win, to be honest. I think I like Dragons a bit more. I see Dragons scoring more points than the Roosters, and I think Roosters can win too, but I don't know. I think Dragons just have a bit more overall better outlook to them compared to the Chooks, so I'll go with the Dragons to win. Let's go Dragons by about 12 points. Should be a good game, this one. First try scorer, I'm liking Sione Finau on that wing for the Dragons, and anytime try scorers for both sides. Gonna go with Daniel Tupou to score again, and for the Dragons, gonna back in Luciano Leilua actually for a try. So there we go. I think Dragons win. All right, next up in Christchurch, it is the Warriors and the Knights at Apollo Project Stadium. So I believe the Warriors have a contract to play at Christchurch for the next couple of seasons, I believe. So I hope I'm right in saying that, but I believe they do. But yeah, what a game this will be. I don't know if it's going to be much of a game with the way Knights are playing, but I say it could be a good game because the Knights do tend to play well against the Warriors, and the Warriors have a really bad Anzac Day curse. I think the last time the Warriors won on Anzac Day, I can't even remember actually. It's been that long. Yeah, I don't know the last time they actually won on an Anzac Day fixture, so yeah, we'll see how they go for this one. But there is a curse there. I don't know if you believe in curses or not, but I think that's one of them that's pretty real, is the Anzac Day curse. But we'll see how they go for this one. Looking at both sides, for the Warriors, CNK, Chance, Nickel Klukstad is back from concussion. So he starts at the fullback with Tane Tuapiki going to the wing, and Edward Cozy drops out. Rocco Berry is also back after a one-game ban, so Kurt Capel goes back to the back row, and Leka Halasimo got to the bench. I like Leka starting, so I don't know why the Warriors would do that, but I guess Leka, is still pretty young. And Mario Martin goes to 18th man after coming off the bench against the Broncos. For the Knights, Dylan Lucas is back from a hamstring injury, so Thomas Kent moves to the bench, and Jermaine McEwen makes way. Jack Hogger has been named in the extended squad as he looks to return from a finger injury. Okay, well, my tip for this game, I think this one will be a bit close, actually. I know Knights have been getting pummeled the last few weeks, but I think Knights will actually turn up for this game. I'll tip the Warriors to win, just because I feel like Warriors, I'm a bit more confident in them, but yeah, like I said, there's a curse there for the Warriors on the Anzac Day fixtures, so never know. But I think Knights will turn up, but Warriors will be too good purely because of Luke Metcalf, the man himself, who downed the Broncos last week. And, guys like, obviously, you've got Wade Egan, Mitch Barnett, CNK being a big in as well. I know there's no Fisher Harris and there's a couple of injuries there, but the Warriors should get the job done in Christchurch. So I'll go Warriors to win by about 10. First try scorer, I'm liking Adam Pompey, and anytime try scorers, let's go Murata Niokore in the back row, and for the Knights, I'll go with Greg Marzu, but Wires to win. Now, the last game to end off Anzac Day is the Melbourne Storm versus the South Sydney Rabbitohs at Amy Park in Melbourne. So, a stat is that the Rabbitohs have not won in Melbourne ever, so that's obviously quite a crazy stat to read, that they've never won a game in Melbourne, but could this round be the round they do and break that curse at Melbourne? I guess we'll find out. But the way Melbourne are playing, red hot form, playing great footy. Look, they lost to the Dolphins last week in a big scoreline. So, yeah, they had injuries during the game, but yeah, a bit disappointing how they played against the Dolphins. So, yeah, we'll see if Melbourne they're vulnerable, but I'm sure they'll try and bounce back at home in a big way possible. So for the Storm, Jack Howarth is out with a shoulder injury. So Nick Meaney returns timely, actually, from a jaw injury. And Tuikamba Kameka is out with an ankle injury. His place is taken by Lazara Falepu. And Nelson Osova-Solomona continues to work through the NRL returned protocols from a concussion. And is in the reserves for this one. As for the Rabbitohs, after one game at centre and two at 5'8", Latrell Mitchell goes back to fullback, his more favoured position. Jai Gray goes to the bench at jersey 14 with Lewis Dodd dropping out. Bailey Bentley Habe comes on the wing, so Campbell Graham goes to the centres. Ewan Aiken to the back row, and Jayden Sullivan returns from suspension and plays halfback with Cody Walker at 5'8". Interesting combo there. And Jai Arrow goes to lock, and with Lachlan Hubner out, obviously. Look, the Storm should win. I think Souths, and Wayne would look at their performance against the Bulldogs and go, we need to improve that pretty quickly. And I think they will, but the way Storm are at Melbourne so far this year, it's just quite crazy how good they are there. I like their team too, so I know Harry Grant's a big boss, but yeah, it's Melbourne, I guess. They'll be right. I'll go Melbourne to win by probably 13 plus. First try scorer, I'm going to go with Sean Bloor, actually, in the back row. And anytime try scorers, let's go with Grant Anderson. And for the Rabbitohs, I'm going to go with Cody Walker for a try. But yeah, I think Storm will be too good on that day. Okay, moving on to Super Saturday, the first game of two. This time, Cowboys and the Titans at Queensland Country Bank Stadium up there in Townsville. So look, recently between these two sides, I feel like the record's very even. Like, you know, it's like a Titans win, then a Cowboys win, Titans win, then Cowboys win. I feel like I might be wrong, but it tends to be a very even record between these two sides the last, I'd say, 3 years anyway. But yeah, it should be a decent game, this one, I reckon, up in Townsville. Yep, Cowboys had the bye last week and they're playing good footy after 3 straight wins, so they're flying at the moment. As for the Titans, I can't read them. I cannot read the Gold Coast. They just have been so good when they're good and then so bad when they're bad. So what Gold Coast we get on Saturday, I don't know, but I guess we'll find out. Looking at both sides, for the Cowboys, John Bateman returns from an infection, so that means Nanai to the starting side and Kai O'Donnell and Sam McIntyre go back to the bench, and Harrison Edwards is 18th man. As for the Gold Coast, David Fafita has been named to play despite initial fears he could miss up to a month of a hamstring injury, but he's been named to play off the bench so far. Olafani Khan-Pereira is also back from a hamstring injury on the wing, and Brock Gray returns from suspension, so Klesi Haas and Isaac Fa'asuamaleaui drop back to the bench. My tip for this one, look, I can see a world where Titans can actually win if they play well, but I think the way Cowboys are playing so far, they look like they're a much better outfitted back on Saturday, so I'll go the Cowboys to win by, I reckon, 13 plus. First try scorer, Murray Taulagi, I believe it's his 100th game, so I think Muzz might get in for a try. Anytime try scorers, I'll go with Nanai to start. Nanai starting in the back row, I reckon he might score. And for the Gold Coast Titans, I'll go with Jojo Fafita for a try. But yeah, Cowboys win. And ending off your Super Saturday, it is the Panthers versus my boys Manly at CommBank Stadium. So, well, yeah, the Panthers are Panthers. They were too good for the Roosters last week. I know before that they were looking very average, but the way the Roosters, I guess, let Penrith play back into their natural form again, yeah, it's not good, because we know how dangerous Penrith can be, and I hope, yeah, that they don't, I guess, turn up the same as they did against Roosters against us, but who knows, they could, yeah, really do that easily. As for us, yeah, well, 3 straight losses, it's obviously not good enough, and yeah, we got to bounce back somehow. Like, I don't know how we, I guess, win, but I guess the main reason on how we can win is just play good footy, lower our errors, fix our discipline, get through the simples, don't overplay our hand, and then we might be a chance against Penrith. But very tough game. I'll be there as always though, so hopefully the boys turn up this week. And yeah, look, this is technically my birthday game too, because next week Manly have the bye, and my birthday is next Wednesday, so I classify this game as my birthday game, so hopefully Manly play well for my, I guess, early birthday present if they do win. But that's a lot of hope though. Looking at both sides, Luke Somerton takes over from the injured Mitch Kenny. Mitch Kenny suspended, so he's out, and Luke Somerton starts at hooker. Isaac Tungo is back in the centres in place of Luke Garner with a concussion injury. And Maverick Guy has been added to the bench for his first NRL game since round 25 last year. As for Manly, the big return of Tom Trbojevic is happening, so I'm very glad about Turbo being back, but hopefully he's all good completely. So that means Lee Harper-Wyden moves to the wing, Tommy Talau goes to the bench as jersey 14. Very interesting move, that one. Clayton Falalo drops out to the reserves. Jake Trbojevic is also out with a concussion, so that means Jason Vunga goes to lock, which I like. And Jake Simkin goes to hooker. Josh Aloiai shoulder returns to the front row. Corey Waddell is back from suspension off the bench. And Toph Sipley is facing a suspension for a hip drop tackle last weekend. And he will be at the judiciary on Tuesday night. And Nathan Brown and Ethan Bullimore are both fine to play despite having injuries against the Dragons. Yeah, look, I don't know. Like, I think Penrith realistically should win this game, but I think Manly have a chance of, bouncing back and causing a small upset, if you want to call it that. I think Turbo being back helps a lot. I like our backline. Like, our backline looks very good compared to Penrith's, but it's the forward pack I'm a bit worried about, to be fair. But I'll back Manly to win. Back my boys, as always. I'll go Manly by 6. First try scorer. Let's go with Paul Alamotti to score for the Panthers first. And anytime try scorers for both sides, going to go with not Liam Martin. I've backed him every week but hasn't scored. I'll go with Casey McLean for a try. And for Manly, I'll go with... let's go with Jason Saab for a try with Turbo back. Saab will score, I think. So, yeah, backing the boys. Come on, Manly. Now, one game I'm very torn about on who to tip. It's the Raiders and the Dolphins at GIO Stadium in Canberra, 2 o'clock game. Because, yeah, both these sides are in very good form. Dolphins have bounced back after the way they've started the year. And the Raiders are, in solid form right now. And, it's a very tough game to pick this one because, it can go either way. Seriously, it can go either way. But, I'm sure this one will be a classic game in Canberra. Looking at both sides for the Raiders, Ricky Stewart goes with the same 17 that got the job done over the Titans. Josh Papali'i and Morgan Smithies in line for another game-based swap, as that has been the case in recent weeks. As for the Dolphins, Francis Molo makes his club debut in the front row, and Mark Nichols moves to lock to replace Felice Kafusi knee injury, and Jeremy Marshall-King remains sidelined with an infected leg, but Max Plaff has been named to play despite suffering a foot injury against the Storm. So, that's the teams right there. Very tough game. Dolphins have been very impressive the last few weeks. Like, their attack's been really good, and their defense has been quite good too. The Raiders have been very physical and have definitely dominated a few sides this year really well. Alright, I've got a bold call. This game will go on point, I reckon. I think a couple of years ago in Wagga Wagga, Dolphins in Canberra played a goal on point game. Well, I think it will happen again in Canberra this time. And I'm going to go with the Raiders to win by 1 point. And I think the field goal will be kicked by Jamal Fogarty, the man himself, Jamal Fogarty. I think Canberra win this game in a classic. Let's go Canberra, 21 points to 20. First try scorer, give me Seb Chris. And anytime try scorers, I'll go with Hudson Young. And for the Dolphins, I'll back in Jack Bostock for a try. But Raiders by 1 in goal on point. And lastly, to wrap up round 8, it is the West Tigers and the Sharks at Leichhardt Oval. West Tigers, what a week it was for them last week. And the main man who's been in the media for a lot of that past week is named to play this round. So, we'll see how Galvin does respond this weekend in first grade. And the Sharks have been very clinical recently, have been playing great footy, so they should be on it yet again. Looking at both sides for the West Tigers, after one game in reserve grade, Lachlan Galvin is back in the 5'8" jersey, and Luai pushes back to the halfback. Adam Douay goes back to the centres, Brent Naden goes to the wing, and Luke Laulii is out. And Royce Hunt returns on the bench after missing Easter Monday's game, so he'll play against his former club, Royce Hunt. As for the Sharks, Toby Rudolph is out with an ankle injury and has been named to be replaced by Tukuhau Tapahua in the only change to the team this weekend. Okay, I see upset potential here. I really do believe at Leichhardt the Tigers could get the better of the Sharks. Look, with all the upsets that are happening this year, can you really blame me if I tip Tigers here? Galvin's back, and I think Galvin brings a lot to the Tigers attack, where I think Douay and Luai just don't click. Especially Douay at 7. That never again, Douay at 7. That can't happen. I'm going to go with the Tigers, actually. I think the West Tigers bounce back here. I know, Taruva's playing. I thought he was out for some reason, but no, he got a fine only. I know the Tigers weren't great against the Eels, but I don't know, at Leichhardt, I feel like their effort might get a bit better for this one. So, I might go Tigers in an upset, actually. Why not? I'll go Tigers by 4, maybe 24-20. First try scorer, going to go with Sunil Taruva, and anytime try scorers on both sides. Gonna back in Alex Seyfarth, and for the Sharks, I'll go with Moeni Harodi. But yeah, I don't know. I'm sensing an upset here. Tigers to win by 4. But that there was my round 8 NRL tips for this weekend. Anzac round tips. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And yeah, bring on Anzac round footy. Should be good. Thank you for watching.